Good evening, everybody. If you are watching the stream after the fact, then please do feel free to skip ahead to qualifying. There will be timestamps in the description below. The rest of the lobby is just joining in now, and I'm just getting the stream set up. I will see you in a moment. Oh, hello, good evening and welcome to anybody in the live chat and anybody who is just joining the stream right about now. Hello Lifebelt, hello Rick, I'm doing fine, thank you very much. It's rather hot over here today, hottest day of the year so far. Got the fan on, I do apologise if you can hear that as it circulates the air in the room. Hello Sir Swindles, nice of you to join us, thank you for the like and subscribe. Yes, please do make sure you do that, please like and subscribe. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. It's not much, but it would be cool to have. I believe I am about 18 away or so. So every little helps is the race of the day. Yes, you are in the race today, Sir Swindu. So good luck to you. It's I saw you signed up to, I think, well, fairly recently. So good luck on your first race of us here in APPF1. As well as Sir Deadman, and I think we've got another newbie on the circuit this evening, but I can't quite remember who that is, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Hello Jack, Sue to you too, pal. Yes, do feel free to watch back, and you're very much welcome for the streams. I do enjoy doing them when I do get the chance, and at the moment I'm free on Friday evenings for the foreseeable, so I should be able to follow you guys, hopefully to the very end of this amazing championship we've got on our hands here in APPF1 Tier 2. I think we're almost getting ready to go. Just looking out for the ping on the Discord server, so keep an eye out for that if you are in the chat already. Yes, happy Formula 1 Womax, happy race week as well, happy Canada, finally back on the F1 calendar for since 2019, I believe. And there's a lot of groundhogs in Canada, so you could say happy Groundhog Day. Hello Hartman, welcome. Lots of you in the live chat. This is very good. I think the majority are drivers, but that's fine. Do feel free to share the stream around as well to anyone who might enjoy some Formula 1 action on this very hot Friday afternoon or evening. Porpoising band, what are Mercury Ferrari going to do now? It's not. So I was watching. What was I watching? I was watching Weekend Warm Up this afternoon, and with Will Buxton, Lawrence Beretta, and I can't remember the woman's name. But they were talking about how Mercedes have fixed the porpoising. The issue wasn't the porpoising itself, rather it was the fact that because of the track surface, the car was bumpy, bumpy more than usual, if that makes sense. If you watch the tech talk they put out a little while ago, it like I say, it's not the porpoising so much, it's because the bottom of the car is hitting the track surface, which is then causing the bouncing, which is then making it hard. And I'd imagine a lot of the track surfaces are quite bumpy, especially the likes of a lot of the street circuits, because those streets probably don't get repaved too often. And the likes of circuits like Canada probably hasn't seen repaving in a long time as well. I think it's going to be something to keep an eye on over the rest of the weekend and how it develops, because I think we might see a few teams that this favours, and we might see a few that have a little bit of a protest. I think they're monitoring it at the moment. I don't know how. They're monitoring the vertical bouncing of the cars themselves, so they're going to keep an eye on that. But yeah, as I say, I'll keep repeating myself, but it's because it's the bouncing caused by the car hitting the track surface rather than the porpoising itself. But do keep an eye on that, as that's going to be quite a developing story as we go through the rest of this Formula 1 weekend into Canada. But yes, it's very good to see Canada back on the circuit. I do enjoy that track, and hopefully we get plenty of groundhogs making their way on the circuit. If I could read that, well, Max, I would, but I can't. Well, I'm just finishing my cup of tea, waiting. I think we might be ready to get away. We've got all 16 of the drivers in, I believe, which is what we are expecting, so should be any moment now. I'll put a couple of videos in the Discord if you'd like, if I can find them. But it looks like we are getting underway, so it's time to put down the cup of tea and get ready for this evening's racing event, the first of two for me, as I will be on ESRL later with Ghost for some more Formula 1 action. But good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the commentary box for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm Sumo, your commentator this evening, and I'm very glad to be bringing you the Tier 1 action. For round 6 of the championship, we make our way to the hills of the Ardennes countryside for a race at the infamous circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. This circuit is the longest on the calendar, clocking in at 7.004 kilometres, with 20 corners heading clockwise. This track is a classic and is a real test for the driver's commitment, as many of the corners of Spa require precision to get just right. Expect to see drivers chasing one another closely through Al Rouge and Raidillon as they seek the DRS for overtaking along the Kemmel Straight, reaching speeds of up to 198 miles per hour. Last week we saw us have a new winner stand upon the top step of the podium, as reserve driver and newcomer URL Chris did a mighty job and won in Portugal. After the stewards' results, MX followed in second and Lifeboat third, rounding off the podium. MX leads the championship by 2 points after claiming the lead last time out. Ghost is sat just behind him and is looking to claim that first Tier 1 championship that has eluded him for a long time. Rick sits in third after a poor race last time out, conceding his lead after for the time being. Tinos sits equal on 85 points with the young Dutchman, who is still within a chance of becoming the Tier 1 Drivers' Champ, as well as the previous Tier 2 champion. Red Bull claimed the lead over Williams by 3 points in the Constructors, who lead AlphaTauri by 11 points. Alfa Romeo and Ferrari sit 5 points away and are still within a chance of claiming this title. We've got 5 Constructors, 4 drivers, all battling it out for the title of Tier 1 Season 5 champions. We will wait to see what happens there. But before we go into qualifying fully, I'll have a quick shout out to APPF1 Tier 1 sponsor, High Dive Apparel, who are responsible for some awesome t-shirts, hoodies, beanies, and much more over on their website. Please do go check out highdiveapparel.com and head over to their Facebook, Instagram, any socials that they happen to be on, and give them all the love and support that you show us over here. It's very much appreciated. And a big thank you to High Dive Apparel for sponsoring the championship. But the cars are making their way out onto the circuit for the first time, with last week's race winner URL Chris in the Haas making his way up Al Rouge and Radion and onto the Kemmel Straight. A circuit that's a driver's favourite. From what I gather, I love this circuit. It's one of my favourites. It's such a thrill to drive, and it really does feel like a classic old Formula 1 track. The track itself is actually way bigger. It sort of went a long way around the countryside a long time ago. It's sort of, I can't remember exactly where. Maybe it was after turn 1, perhaps. But it's probably about half of what it used to be back in the 50s and the early days of Formula 1. So it's really a shadow of itself, but it's still a epic circuit to drive and an epic circuit to have a Formula 1 race at. Right, just need to get myself up a track map so that I've got it available. There we go, and URL Chris into the pit lane, so we'll ride on board with Sir Swindu then, who is one of our newcomers this evening in that papaya orange McLaren. So setting himself up for that hot opening lap. Down the main straight then, to start the first lap into La Source. It's a short run to turn 1, and it's going to be a very heavy braking zone, looking for the best exit possible to set yourself up for the long run that is into towards turn 2, 3, 4 and 5. 3, 4 and 5 being the infamous Al Rouge and Radion. Flat out all the way up the hill, as committed as you like. Don't be scared by that corner or you will spin out, opening up the DRS to start the run down along the Kemmel Straight, the first DRS zone of 2 on this circuit, and now into Les Combes, this 1, 2, 3 corner area of the circuit. You can carry a lot of speed here on the run. Then down to Brussels is off camber right hand corner, making sure you're trying to get as close to that apex as possible. Sir Swindu doesn't do the best job here. In comes No Name then, a quick flick to the left, focusing on the exit, and then you run down towards Pouhon as fast as you dare into this, as committed as you dare into this corner to carry as much speed to really help that lap time in sector 2. And then we come to the Campos chicane. It's a very long chicane and a very fast chicane indeed, and Sir Swindu navigates that well. And then we come into Stavelot 1, and in that opening up into Stavelot 2 here, flat out corner, the house on the left, don't hit that wall. And then we come on the run all the way down to Blanchimont, a corner that somebody said was one of the hardest in Formula 1. I disagree, but anyway, can Sir Swindu navigate it? Look how easy that corner is. A quick flick to the left, flat out, and then we come braking at the 100-metre board for the bus stop chicane, focusing on that exit. It's also important to complete the lap around here. Sir Swindu crosses the line to set the pace of a 43.6. He'll then be followed closely by, I believe, the Williams of MX, who looks to be on a slightly faster lap. Not quite sure as these first runs start to play out. Into bus stop then for the German championship leader at the moment. Leads by 2 points, looking to claim his second Tier 1 title. Or maybe his third Tier 1 title, as he sets a 43.1. That's a Haas coming along the line. That's the other newbie as Sir Deadman comes across the line now, with Lifebout following him along. Is that Scott coming across the line next? It is on the mediums, setting his first lap of the session as Ghost goes for a 43.0. But then followed by the Ferrari of Tinoz, Tier 2 champion of Season 3. He sets a 43.2. So the lap times coming in now. It's nice to see Scott back on circuit here in APPF1. It's been a little while, and hoping he has a decent race this time out. Not the best qualifying lap from the APPF1 veteran, but I'm sure he's got plenty more in him. Hartmann has got plenty more in him, as this lap isn't going to be one of his best. Here's Paulie Orange, then new member of APPF1 as well, new to Tier 1 I believe, and is coming across the line, not setting the quickest of laps. I think aiming to start out toward the back. Jakalako with a big tank snapper, leaving the bus stop chicane. That's why the exit's so important, and that sees him down in P7. How about Womax coming across the line? Invalidated his lap. No good from the Bulgarian driver in that Alfa Romeo. We'll ride on board then with the last week's championship leader and contender for this week. He sits in P3 currently. Car number 15, the Red Bull of Rick VE17, to start his first flying lap of the session. Coming up, our Rouge and Radion, you need to be so brave through that corner. Don't be scared of it. Just foot to the floor and get in that corner and get the best run possible for the Kemmel straight. A little bit of traffic, which he navigates quite well. The Merc pulling over very nicely. Purple sector 1, but that's not too representative of his time as his first run of the day. He comes down towards Brussels now. The AlphaTauri getting nicely out of the way as well for the Dutchman, being tucked away. That's a decent run through Brussels. Sector 2 is a vital section to get right if you're going to get the lap time out of this circuit. You can be as fast as you like through the flat out sections of this course, but if you can't get sector 2 right, then it's all for nothing. As Rick navigated Pouon quite well into the Campos chicane now. That looked pretty tidy from the Red Bull. Coming into Stavelo's 1 and 2 now. That looks pretty tidy as well. It's 14.7 crossing the sector 2 line. Jakalako, his teammates, out on a lap right now. He might be running a second lap or so. We'll wait and see what my Sprint Championship teammate is up to. But we're watching Rick right now as he comes toward the bus stop chicane to set his first lap of the session. I think Jakalako's headed into the pit lane. Yes, he has. What about Rick then? Can he get himself on provisional pole? It's a 43.2, not quite provisional pole position, but a decent lap from the Dutchman. Your top 4 championship rivals or contenders all sit amongst the top 4 in qualifying thus far. This is looking like a good battle out on track that is developing. We're watching Eat My Dust, who has invalidated his lap, so he will need to go again. Who's the next car to come across? It's the Alpine of Zidane. I believe missed last race, perhaps. I can't quite remember. I know Eat My Dust did miss the last race around here. It's a 15.0, so about a second down or a few tenths down from where Rick was, but this could be a decent lap from the Alpine if they can navigate the final few corners as well. Through Blanchimont, another flat out corner. Brave as you like, especially if you've got your overtake button on. That's a Haas getting out of the way for the Alpine as it navigates the bus stop chicane, opens up that DRS, gets the best exit possible. It's a 43.6 from Zidane that puts him in P7. His teammate Demoniac here coming down on the medium tyres, so looking to go longer into the race. We'll put the tyres on for everybody. Actually, I've got to do that. We'll see what tyres people are running in these sessions as Demoniac comes around the final corner, looking to set a decent lap. It's only P12, so he's going to have to probably come out again on a set of softs to try and set a faster lap. I believe Rick's on a slow lap. He certainly is. Just try and find somebody out on a lap for you. Ghost is on an out lap. We'll wait and see. I think Rick is Dana on slow laps. I'd imagine Scott's gone for a spin at the exit of Radion. That is a shame for him. We will find somebody on a lap. Here we go. Eat My Dust. Coming to make amends. Low on fuel after the previous run. But that gives you all the more time, but risks running out of fuel in the dying stages of the lap. But Eat My Dust flying towards. I'm not sure how quick this lap time's going to be from the McLaren, but is the only driver left in the session not to set a lap time. Coming across the line now, it's a 43.5, puts him on the third row with his teammate for the time being. Let's ride on board then with the 4-time sprint champion Ghost. Is the Tier 1 Championship crown has eluded him for some time here in APPF1. Remember his first season of the 2021 game, his wheel suffered a major error, and he was out of the Austrian Grand Prix, the opening round, which cost him this championship. He's had a few moments which he tells me has cost him the championship, and that might be one of them where he's invalidated that lap time, but I'm not sure his lap was all that quick. Anyway, MX invalidates his lap as well. He'll need to come round again and set another. But here we go, Lifebout 3/10 up on his previous best. The lap times are looking pretty tight between everybody thus far. A lot of drivers on the 143s. Lifebout is looking to break into that time and try and challenge up toward the front of the grid, looking to make some more time up through sector 2. It's very easy to lose the car on some of these curbs in the Campos chicane. You've got to be very careful through Stavolo, carrying as much speed as possible. He's 1.3 seconds up on previous best. It's fastest sector 2, so this could be a decent lap from the Alfa Romeo now as he comes through Pouon. I still can't fathom why people would say this is a tricky corner in Formula 1. They compared it to the Wall of Champions, which is a far more trickier corner. I'd say this chicane's trickier than Pouon, for Christ's sake, than Blanchimont, for Christ's sake. Hell, Pouon's trickier than Blanchimont as Lifebout breaks into the 1 minute 42s with a 1 minute 42.6, a strong lap time from the Dutch driver. Eat my dust on a slow lap. I believe Jack Alacco will be the next driver to set a lap, 5/10 up on his previous best. Just taking a quick drink of water there. It's first he worked this commentary job. Coming in to the final chicane now. You've got to get that so right. The exit is also important to get that traction down. Jack Alacco navigates it well, and it's a 142.9 venturing into the 42s for the first time as well. How about Tinoz? Not quite improving too much, but Lifebout and Jack Alacco setting some decent lap times out there at the moment. I believe it's Demoniac on a lap. No, straight into the pit lane for the Alpine. How about Hartmann? Hartmann's on an out lap for the moment. What's Womack's up to? He's on a lap at the moment, but he's not the lead AlphaTauri. That belongs to Ghost, who's invalidated again. So qualifying not going too well for my commentary compatriot. So he'll be looking to go a little bit faster and stay within those white lines on the next one. MX trying to set a faster lap time. Is 5 seconds down on his previous best. Crossing that line, so he's going to pull over and try and run again. Womack's 3/10 up. This will be a decent improvement for the Bulgarian driver as he and his teammate Ghost are fighting for that Constructors' Championship, along with the likes of Red Bull, Williams, Alfa Romeo and Ferrari, who are all very, very close with each other, and a few good results could see the championship swing in any way. But here comes Womack, sets a 43.4, a better lap from the Bulgarian, puts himself nice and firmly in the top 10. That's Deadman, one of our newbies, out on a hot lap for the moment. Lifebout is on a slow lap, it seems. Zidane on a in lap as well. Invalidated for Sir Swindu, that is a shame for him. Let's see, we've got Jack Alacco, that's Rick coming out of the pit lane there. Jack Alacco's probably on a slow lap as well. I believe Scott is on an out lap for the moment. I think it's just Sir Deadman. And we'll watch the newbie as they navigate and come across the sector time. That's a fast sector from the Haas driver. That's a purple sector 1. Getting the tow as well, I'd imagine, from the AlphaTauri ahead of him. Looking to set up sector 2 perfectly to keep this pace going and perhaps get themselves further up the grid. There'll be 22 laps of this Grand Prix then once we go racing. It's one of the shortest lap counts, but it's a rather long circuit, the longest open circuit on the calendar. Let's see then, Sir Deadman approaching the Sector 2 line now, looking for purples. It's not quite, but 5/10 up on their previous best. This could see them in the high 43s, way up there with the likes of Ghost and MX, maybe even threatening Jack Alacco on that 42.9. We'll have a look at lap records toward the end of the session to see if anybody has claimed one. But here comes Sir Deadman then into the bus stop chicane, looking for the best exit possible to round off this lap and maybe take provisional pole position. It's not quite, it's a 1:42.961, only 1/100th of a second faster than Jackalacco, but that's a good showing from the newbie this evening in that Haas car. Let's see who else is out on circuit. Here comes the Dane looking to improve. Couldn't see the sector times for the moment. So across the line, the Alpine comes and puts himself solidly into P9. That's a decent lap. So Swindu improves up a little bit. A lot into P7. Sir Swindu goes, I believe. I couldn't quite see what happened there, but 1/1000th of a second slower than the Ferrari of Tinoz. That's got to hurt a little bit. MX is on an out lap, looking to not invalidate. How about Scott then? Invalidated his lap and will look to go again on that tyre, I'd imagine. Lifeboat on an out lap as well. I think we're approaching the final few seconds or minutes of qualifying even. I believe that's Rick coming through for a lap now. Yes, it is. I think he's the next car to cross the line to set a fast lap. I'm not sure what the Haas is up to. So I think that's Sir Deadman in the Haas, because the other Haas is sat in the garage. So we'll watch Rick then. P3 Drivers' Championship sitter at the moment. If you are watching at the moment, we're in the dying stages of qualifying, and please do make sure you like and subscribe. All the support is very much welcome over here, so please do make sure to do that and share the stream around to anybody you think might like it. All the support I can get is very helpful. Check out our sponsor, Apparel. We're very happy to have them as our sponsor over here on Tier 1, and check out all our other APPF1 affiliates. But here we go then. Here comes Rick through the final couple of corners, looking to get himself up toward the front of the grid. It's a 42.8. Sits himself on the front row, but 2/10 down from Lifeboat. We've got a crash. That's Womack's at Al Rouge and Radion. That's not going to help his qualifying hopes at all. Is that Demoniac? Demoniac's invalidated his lap time. Tinoz is on an out lap at the moment. It's that Ghost. It is. Ghost coming through. Not the fastest lap for him, but he's going to sit back and go again, perhaps burning off some of that fuel. I believe the garage fills you up on about 3 laps or so of fuel for these qualifying sessions, and there keeps being yellow flags, so I can't see the time. There it is. So qualifying has ended. So if you're out on circuit now, you've got to make the lap count. Hartman has not done so. Tinoz is retired from the session. He's crashed at Al Rouge and Radion as well. So we'll watch then. I think that's Jackalacco. He's 600ths of a second up. He wants to get as close to his teammate as he can. MX has improved a 1:42.7. Nobody can touch that Alfa Romeo of Lifebout, who still sits about a 10th away from the next fastest car. That's 2/10 up for Jackalacco. This could be a strong lap from the Scotsman. This could see him way up on the second row with his teammate, and maybe even challenge MX for that last place on the front row. Down into the bus stop chicane comes the Red Bull driver now, looking for the best possible exit, looking to really make this final lap of this qualifying session count. What lap time is it going to be crossing the line? It's a 42.7. Joins his teammate on the second row, not quite matching MX's time. Only 100th of a second away. Lifebout's on another lap. He's even quicker at the moment, but he's in the pit lane perhaps. I think that might have been somebody else. MX way down on his previous time. No dice for the German. We'll watch as Demoniac comes through 8/10 up. This could see him improve into the top 10. Get himself, no, not quite. P12 for the Alpine driver. Into the pits comes Scott then. I think the final driver to come across the line is Ghost. 3/10 up. This could see him maybe push Rick out for 4th place. Maybe even more. No, it's pole position for Ghost, taking it at the very last moments of the session and putting himself on the top step, beating Lifebout out by 1/10 of a second. The lap time that sat there since the very beginning has toppled down by Ghost, who's looking to set a firm challenge as we go into this race weekend. MX, no challenge from him, and I believe that is your qualifying session over. incredible stuff. We wait for the qualifying session to go into the results, and as we do that, I am on the Discord right now looking for the lap records tab. Just want to have a quick look. I'd like to give you guys this information. I've got to try and fill out the dead moments of sessions as much as I can. Let's have a look then. Lap records. So the current lap record at Belgium, a 42.378 set by Ghost, and I believe his lap time was a 42.5. So Ghost keeps his record that was set last season at the first round of the championship. Yes, it was a 42.5, so Ghost definitely got more pace in him at Belgium. But anyway, Ghost is going to be your pole sitter for this evening's race, with Lifebout lining up on that front row with him, getting himself involved in the battle between the top four. MX sits in P3, starting off the second row with Jackalacco P4 to round it off. Row 2 is occupied by the Dutchman of Rick, who looks to gain some points on his rivals this evening, with the newbie of Sir Deadman in the Haas setting an impressive 42.9 to set himself on P6. Tinoz on row 4 lines up alongside the other newbie of Sir Swindu, who sets another impressive lap time. The Bulgarian of Womax in P9 with Zidane P10 rounding off the top 10. Row 6 is occupied by Eat My Dust on strategical pole position there, with FRL Demoniac in P12, ISL Hartman P13, Scott 14 with Paulie Orange and URL Chris rounding off the rest of the grid. It could be a great race this evening, and we may even see the likes of a safety car, but Ghost beating out Lifebout by 0.03 of a second for that pole position. And it's incredibly close. Look, it's about a tenth between the top 4, 3 tenths between the top 6, 5 tenths between the top 8, 9 tenths between the top 11. So the top 11 all sat within 9 tenths of each other. Incredibly close qualifying times. That's what we like to see in Tier 1. But no lap records broken thus far. Looking forward to this race session. I hope you guys are in the chat as well. He was 3 tenths up, invalidated Lifebout. Man, that cost you pole position there. But that's the nature of motorsport. Anything can happen, and anything can and probably will go wrong if you allow it to. But we're just waiting now as the clock ticks down. We're sat over the pit lane. You can see all the garages there with all the cars. You know, one feature I've been really wanting F1, the Codemasters games, to implement on this game is to move the garages after every championship. If Mercedes somehow finish at the bottom in a season of my career, then that's where I want to see them. I want to see them all the way at the far end of the pit lane. And how cool would that be? Like, it's a very simple change in concept, surely. Like, you just sort of move everything around. Like, I get you're trying to keep with the 2022 like thing, and sure, whatever. But that's just a cool little like feature that it may seem very minor to a lot of people who don't play the game a lot. But it's that small element of realism that comes into it, because every season, you know, the Constructors' Championship is likely different. So some teams will be further down the pit lane, some teams will be further up the pit lane, closer to the entrance. I mean, it doesn't make the biggest world of difference, but it would just be a cool little feature for Codemasters to add. And no one's got, other than content creators, no one's got their hands on the F1 22 game yet, so we don't know. But if that was a thing that happened, I would be over the moon. But alas, it's likely not going to happen, like the fact that they'll create some stable multiplayer lobbies. But anyway, that's your sumo rant for you there. During this formation lap, I could go on a little bit longer, but I think we're not here for me ranting, and I've got to save my voice for the inevitable carnage of the opening lap of this Grand Prix, which Ghost will see us as the pole sitter as he sees everyone round for a formation lap. Very quick driver is Ghost, very consistent, knows what he's doing, knows how to race. He's won 4 sprint championships for a reason. Can he see himself at the top of the standings come the end of this race? Lifebout has done very well in the last few months he's been racing with us. He started out in Tier 1, of course, in Tier 2, of course, and has seen himself in Tier 1 as one of the contenders. Has been a great thrill to watch in his time, getting faster and faster. MX, of course, ruthless on the track, knows what he's doing, will overtake you if he has the chance. Very aggressive, knows what he's doing. Jackalacko, you love Jackalacko. We love seeing this guy going for dives and down the inside. Hope he's got something on the cards this evening with Rick, who has been a very promising young talent. A lot of these guys all fighting away for the championship. Red Bull have the advantage for the constructors, but here we go then. We're waiting for those green flags. We sit on board here with Ghost at the moment, car number 27, that AlphaTauri, waiting. Here we go then, we'll just get the camera to change, come on. Codemasters, here we go, with 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Belgian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go, and it looks like a decent start from the APPF1. As I say that, he gets a snap of loss of grip there, and Lifeboat goes straight around the outside. MX challenges to the inside as well. The Red Bulls look to try and make up some places on this early stage of the race, but Ghost, with that little snap of loss of grip there, has managed to lose the lead out to Lifeboat, and MX is all over the back for him. They dive all the way along this Kemmel straight now. These Red Bulls sitting nicely in the slipstream of the cars ahead of them. MX all over the back of that AlphaTauri. Ghost has closed the distance as there's a bit of contact further back between the two newbies in the McLaren and the Haas car there. Fairly clean off the line at the moment. That's Womack's losing a couple of places a bit further down there as he loses out to Zidane in the Alpine. Tinos has made his way up into P6. Good showing from the Ferrari. He needs a decent race this evening as Womack is off the track. What's happened there? He's off the track at Brussels and has to rejoin at the moment. Is there damage on that AlphaTauri? No, there isn't. Hartmann all over the back of his teammate on the soft tyre. Scott lets the American straight through, who's on the mediums, on a different strategy for the moment. Let's have a look at the tyres for everybody. I didn't do that during the formation lab, but we'll go and try and follow as much of this action as we can. Eat My Dust, Paulie Orange, Chris and Scott all on the mediums, with everybody else opting for the soft compound of tyre. That's Demoniac all over the back of his teammate. It looks like a one-stop race this evening. Soft to mediums or soft to hards. But I'm sure somebody may be trying something very different, as the alternate strategy guys are. Demoniac looking for a way around his teammate. Not quite. They're going to battle this one out. The two Alpine cars, as Lifebout says, the fastest lap of the race. Ghost will be kicking himself for that mistake. That will be crucial to his championship, perhaps. But he's not fighting Lifebout. He's fighting MX, Rick, and Tinos, who are all currently sat behind the AlphaTauri. Womack is in. He must have had damage off that lap. Demoniac still chasing down his teammate, very, very close to the back of that car. Opens up the his ERS, pulls all the way out onto the grass and goes straight past his teammate, rockets down the Kemmel straight. They're going to go side by side. No, Zidane backs off and lets his teammate through, who's got some pace to try and chase after these guys ahead. There's a huge DRS train forming as Eat My Dust has gone around the outside of Paulie Orange at Laycom there, and has taken the place before hitting Brussels. Has become the lead medium runner car. MX still close to the back of Ghost, hunting for that P2 at the moment and wanting to go on the attack for the lead of this race. But Ghost is going to defend this as hard as he dares to keep that place safe from the clutches of the German. German-Canadian, I should say, but Womack's a horrible start for him. I'm not exactly sure what happened at that corner. Maybe some contact, maybe a genuine mistake from the Bulgarian, but he'll be kicking himself for that. And AlphaTauri will feel that in the Constructors' Championship. That I am certain of. But we've got quite the fight on our hands. Lifebout doing well to open up that gap. It's 1.1 seconds. Ghost is going to feel the effects of that very, very soon as DRS is now activated. It's a long way to Laycom, and Ghost will likely not defend it well without the aid of DRS, but he doesn't get it, so he's going to have some very, very feisty drivers looking to make their way past, all in that slipstream. DRS and slipstream very powerful as it opens up on the back of that Williams car, and he breezes straight past the AlphaTauri. Nothing he can do about that, as MX has the position as they come into the first part of Laycom and through the rest of that section of the circuit. Ghost has now got 2 Red Bulls to fend off behind him, and they'll not want to spend too much time behind. They want to chase after MX as well, but they got to think about their Constructors' Championship. Scott's in the pits as well. He's just come out on a set of fresh softs, and not an optimal start for Scott in the Aston Martin, but he wanted to come out and race. He said he might be a little bit slow, and has lived up to our expectations for the moment. A little bit further down, our 2 newbies having a nice little fight with one another. We've got a long DRS train, the entirety of the top 10 in this train. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. That's URL Chris. He's off the circuit at the Campos chicane. Not sure what happened there. Perhaps some contact with another driver. Very not the oddest of places to lose it, but on that area of the circuit, especially as his tyres are very hot there. You see a tank slapper from the Haas car. He's got to cool those tyres down and stop the car from doing things it really shouldn't be doing. MX doing what Ghost couldn't and staying with Lifebout. Lifebout's going to come under pressure very soon as Sir Swindu is overtaken by Sir Deadman in the Haas for the moment for P7. Rick very close to the back of Ghost. Ghost is struggling for race pace, it seems, in his early stages, and Rick, before the DRS, is challenging. They're both going to have it, so it's a drag race down to that braking zone of Laycom. MX getting closer to Lifebout, not close enough for the overtake on this occasion, and it's Ghost who comes out on top over the Dutchman for the moment, as we've got another spin. That's Scott out of the bus stop chicane. Maybe some damage on that Aston Martin, I can't quite see. But we'll cut back to the front to keep track of all the action that's going on up here. This is the title fight up here between MX, Ghost, Rick and Tinoz, who really needs to get a shift on and get his way past Jackalacco and fight his real rivals. This could be a race decided by strategy, and we've only 4 laps in. There's plenty of time for the safety car to come out, as Scott has retired. That could be the safety car that I was just talking about, and it is. There we go then. So the medium tyre runners are going to be kicking themselves. The soft tyre runners are going to be happy. They can put on whatever tyre and it should go to the end. I'm not sure how well the mediums will look toward the end of this race. I'd probably go for the hard tyre if I was Lifebout right now, and the best option really for these medium runners is to probably do the same and hope not too many of the soft runners go on to the onto the mediums. Lifebout getting a little bit out of shape into the pit lane, but he does come in. I did say to Scott in the chat before the race in our Discord that we needed somebody to bring out the safety car, and he has done just that. Mediums for MX. Hards for Ghost. Ghost the only driver on the hard compound of tyre. Is that a mistake, or is that a masterstroke of strategy? Well, Hartman seems to think the same, as he's also gone onto the hards. I think those mediums will be very, very poorly come the end of the race. But the likes of URL Chris and Womack will be very happy to see that safety car out, as this brings them right back into the fold. Poorly Orange and Eat My Dust staying out. They will have to stop again. So they take the top 2 positions of this race, at least provisionally. But Lifebout is the actual leader as they follow that red Mercedes around the track. Soft to hard, says Hartman, and has definitely stuck to that strategy. I think it's the safe bet. The only other factor, excuse me, of course, that brings the mediums into play is that it's a very the laps behind the safety car. I'd imagine we'll have at least one more lap under safety car after this, as it normally likes to stay out for 2 laps. So we'll wait and see. It normally decides to come in as they cross the sector 3 line, as Womack's will close on as they come through Pouon. But a decent start to this race. Ghost with a poor start off the line. Jack Alacco really lost out in the pits as he's had to double stack with his teammate. So he's ended up 4 positions down, am I right? 1, 2, 3 positions down in P10, and will have to try and fight his way through the field to get back up with his teammate and challenge for those points. Tinoz is going to continue his struggles at the moment, as there's no Ferrari second driver to back him up. Aces hasn't been able to attend the races recently. Life does get in the way of esports racing, unfortunately, and that is the case. We are going to go for another lap under safety car, so these mediums could well make it to the end. I'm not sure how grippy they're going to feel towards the end. Those hards are going to be very hard to warm up and keep warm during this safety car period, but I'm sure if anyone can manage it, then it will be a driver of Ghost's stature and ability. A great driver and just as great commentator as Ghost. He and I oversee Tier 2 and the SRL when I can be available for that, and it's a great joy commentating with Ghost, and I will continue to do so for as long as I can. I do enjoy it very, very much. Just trying to fill out the time at the moment. What can we talk about? I'm not sure. Anyone in the live chat got anything for me to rant on about at the moment? Anybody who's watching? Probably only 4 people watching are drivers looking to listen in on the commentary at the moment. But I mean, I personally couldn't do it. It'd be too much of a distraction for me. I think I can't even have my own streams up when I race anymore. I get too distracted for the moment. I'm looking to get some proper thumbnails put together for you guys. I mean, I've got a few that AP sent me a while back, but since there's radio silence, I haven't had any. So it's not to say that that's annoying, but because again, real life gets in the way of these things. And I hope to see AP back for F122. I hope to see a lot of drivers back for F122. We had my old Tier 1 teammate of Sonic in the chat for Tier 2 yesterday. That was a nice surprise. It was nice to hear from him. He's doing well, for all of those who know or have heard of Sonic and are wondering. But F122 looks very exciting. I've pre-ordered my copy. Can't wait to get involved. I think I might even start streaming my career mode again. Might fully commit to it this time. I want to try and play as much of F122 as I can before the Sprint Championship starts up again, so I can really get a feel for those cars. But I think the safety car is due to come in, so Poorly Orange will lead us round as the provisional safety car before the restart. Here we go then, safety car in this lap. That Mercedes will want to warm up those medium tyres, 5 laps old. Had them on since the start. They will have to pit again, so expect them to drop down the grid. They'll be hoping for another safety car which will help them out significantly, but for the time being it's back to as it was Once that safety car peels into the pit lane, Paulie Orange can go. They're coming through Blanchimont now, probably the slowest they'll navigate this corner on any lap that they set around here. Is it me, or is the clouds starting to darken a little bit? Could we see some rain here in the late stages of Spa? It's a very long race, who knows? But that's Paulie Orange going. He has opened up that gap a little bit. He's trying to catch Eat My Dust unawares. Not looking like that has worked all too much, as Eat My Dust has closed in. No moves as of yet, although MX is looking a bit racy with Lifebout. Has a little look at the inside as they come through La Source. Not quite going. URL Chris gets the better of Zidane a little bit further back before the first corner. Eat My Dust is really falling back now. No DRS for the first 3 laps, as we need 3 laps of green flag racing. But here comes Rick. He's got a lot less drag on that car than Ghost. He's trying to challenge. Ghost keeps him out of his slipstream. Rick gets back in it and looks to the inside. Makes a move, does he? It's very close between them. That's very good racing between the pair, as URL Chris makes another move and gets himself up into P12, the winner of last week's race, making up positions. Rick looking at the inside for Brussels and gets it on that superior grip there side by side as they exit into the no-name corner very fast. Maybe a little bit of contact, not quite. Rick pushed wide though. Very good racing between the two of them. Tinos now getting involved, looking on the inside of Pouon. That's very risky from the Ferrari. Very, very brave stuff as Sir Hot Deadman gets the first penalty of this session. That was some very good racing between the 3 of them. Paulie Orange has opened up this gap quite significantly. Womack gets his way past Hartman, who's on those hard tyres. They're really struggling to get the tyre 10 pin them. As Rick, oh, that was very tight, and I think he's off. He's off. He's into the wall and he's out of this race. I think that could be another safety car, but that's a major crash for the championship. He's lost it at the exit of Stavolo 2, which is very easy to do, and that's seen him way down the order. And it looks like Tinos has got himself ahead of Ghost. And does Ghost have damage? He does. There must have been contact between Ghost and Rick. I didn't see what happened, but there was definitely contact as Ghost has peeled into the pit lane. So not only is Rick's championship thrown up into the air, but Ghost as well, as the two of them have come together on this safety car restart. So Swindu all over the back of that Alpine. URL Chris all over the back as well. The Alpine's got his way through. Here comes the Haas. Blocked in more or less. It's going to be 2 by 2 as they come down towards Les Combes. And I think the Haas slots in between the 2 cars and gains P9. Those soft tyres working out for URL Chris, but I'm not sure how long he'll be able to take them into this race. Chances are his pace will start dropping dramatically for a little while. It's been a long while since I've league raced around here, as Ghost is now back out on the circuit, all on his lonesome. A horrible restart for the AlphaTauri. It's a shame I didn't quite see what happened. The camera wasn't sort of allowing me. I was watching Rick at the time, but the camera didn't really give me the best view. But we could see that one later on in the steward's room perhaps, and I'm sure Ghost will have his footage somewhere so we can have a look at it. I'll see if I can't find it for you guys. I'll keep one eye on the action and we'll follow along with MX as a Lifeboat has found him his way into P2. That was a crucial move for him as it puts a car in between himself and the German. Let's see if I can't find what happened on Ghost's stream, if he is indeed streaming his race at the moment. Ghost stream. I'm not sure I can actually watch back what happened, so I'll have to do that another time. It's a shame I can't go back and have a look, but will hold on and get back to the racing for the time being. Not too many changes for position at the moment. Sir Deadman looking to challenge MX, but he does have that time penalty. Ghost has a time penalty as well. That could be for speeding. No, it is track limits for Ghost, who will not be too happy with his current position in this race. At the moment, the Tier 1 Championship seems it will continue to elude the British driver, but even more annoyed will be Rick, who sees himself out of this race. The worst possible result. Everything seems to have calmed down a little bit. We've got a few battles going on track. Eat My Dust is trying to stay with Lifebout and hang on to the back of that Alfa Romeo, but will soon find himself in the clutches of that Williams, who seeks to claim his spot in P3 and what is the actual P2 of this race, as again Paulie Orange does need to stop at the moment, and will be doing so for the soft tyres, I'd imagine, and could look very fast toward the end of this race. So do keep an eye out for Paulie Orange and Eat My Dust in the dying stages, but not a lot of ERS left for Eat My Dust. He's done very well to keep MX behind, and I think that's where most of that ERS has gone, as Jack Alaco goes down the inside of Tinos, gets himself up into P6 and recovers fairly well. This is some decent news for the Constructors' Championship, as it looks like Alpha Tauri have still got both of their drivers in at the moment, and there's only one Alfa Romeo, one Ferrari, one Red Bull and one Williams and one Ferrari. I think I might have said that as well, but Alpha Tauri, the only team with two drivers on the track, and that is involved in the Drivers' Championship. Jack Alaco will want to be trying to close up to Sir Deadman as quick as possible. Eat My Dust has finally dropped back away from Lifebout, enough for MX to start going on the attack. Eat My Dust has got to be careful of that Williams behind him. We're on lap 10. We're coming to start the 11th lap to start the halfway point of this race. There'll be 11 laps left, I believe. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 12 laps remaining as Eat My Dust has a little bit of a wiggle coming out of La Source at the moment. MX will be all over that and looking to get along the side of that driver. URL Chris looking very fast as well, a bit further back, and it's going to be a clean sweep move for the Haas as MX goes along the inside. Here comes Sir Deadman as well down the inside, making it 2 by 2. That's a clean pass from the Haas, who continues his campaign to chase down that Williams driver ahead of him and claim that final spot on the podium for the moment. Sir Deadman on the same sort of strategy at the minute. So Lifebout, MX and Sir Deadman are your current top three, with Paulie Orange still yet to come into the pits, but onto the soft tyres most likely. Unless we, even if we see a safety car come in, I think everybody will dive in for a fresh set of soft tyres. URL Chris has done a great job. He started at the back after not qualifying. Paulie Orange as well started at the back with him after setting just a slow lap in qualifying, wanting to start toward the back and challenge themselves here in Tier 1, and they're doing very, very well at the moment. We've got a yellow flag. That's Tinos. No, who was that? That was Lifebout. Lifebout making a mistake. Hot tyres, and he's into the wall, and he's out of this race. That could be another safety car, perhaps. I'm not too sure. It wasn't last time when Rick crashed. He's just lost it out of La Source. That is a huge error from Lifebout, who was way, way up in contention for this race. And it's put Jack Galacco in contention for a podium now. No safety car for that crash, and a big shame for Lifebout, who was challenging for pole position and a race win this evening. Consistency is key, and this track definitely punishes inconsistencies when they occur. Sir Deadman is still putting the pressure onto MX. This could be a change for the lead of the race, and it is. As Sir Deadman up the inside, he's still got that time penalty, but goes into the lead of this race, at least on track. Paulie Orange still yet to come in, so not the real leader, as he will drop way back. But MX is a racer of high caliber and will definitely fight this to the bitter end. He's got Eat My Dust and Jack Alacco and URL Chris all behind him, chasing down that lead, but they've got penalties as well. 3 seconds for everybody with a time penalty at the moment, so those will factor in to the final race result, I am sure. Fairly calm down the rest of the grid. A few drivers getting close-ish. It's URL Chris is a little bit of a tank slap, a little bit of a moment. Jack Alacco is storming along, and Jack Alacco is looking to set up a move down into Blanchimont and the bus stop chicane. He's all over the back of that McLaren. This could be a move for P4 at the moment. No, Jack Alacco does. Oh, he looks to the outside. He thinks better of it for the moment. Just sits behind the papaya car. He knows URL Chris is on the softer tyre and will look to claim any opportunity he can. DRS for the Red Bull, but he's not going to want to overtake here. There's only one place you want to get that overtake done, at Belgium, at Spa-Francorchamps, and that is on that Kemmel Straight. Into Al Rouge and Radion they go. Not looking to go side by side. It's a big risk for the Scotsman, but this could be 2 positions lost. But URL Chris has got the better run through and up the hill. They've come together. That's a huge crash. What has happened there? No space left between the two of them. That will definitely be in the steward's room this evening, but that is the safety car for the 2nd time this evening. And if I was Jack Alacco and URL Chris, I would not be very happy at the moment. That is a huge crash, and that is both Red Bull cars out and not scoring points. That's going to see them drop way down from their rivals in this Constructors' Championship, and there'll be no one happier on the grid right now than Ghost, who sees himself back in this race. That is RIP for you. Don't know how you spun. It's very easy to do at the Stavolo, but wow, what a crash that was with URL Chris and Jack Alacco. I'm not sure what happened there at all. That was huge. If they are in the chat at the moment, or are going to be in the chat soon, then I would love to know what happened and the perspectives on that. Ghost does have a chance to get himself back in this race. This plays very well into the hands of Paulie Orange, who sits in lead of this race now. He gets a free pit stop from this, so he could see himself winning after becoming this is his debut here at Tier 1. So this is his first race, so for the 2nd week running we could see a debutant claim the win. He didn't start, he started in P15. His compatriot who started at the back with him, URL Chris, will not finish this race as he was involved in that incident between. But yes, this is a good chance for the Mercedes of Paulie Orange, as everybody has come in the pit lane for softs. We're going to have a sprint to the finish, about 4 or 6 lap sprint likely to the finish, as we wait for the safety car. But I would love to know exactly what happened between the pair of them. I'm glad I caught that. we neutralise this race then, as Poorly Orange leads us round for the second time. Sir Deadman, interestingly, on a set of medium tyres, doing something different. Maybe a mistake from the Haas car. Who knows?